What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for the weekly sports card market update. Boy, oh boy, what a last couple days. The Mint Collective is currently going on. Obviously, the talk of the town, not necessarily for good, is Beckett. Chantilly show is this weekend along with the Mint. I saw some coverage on social media. I was going to try to go to that show. I messed my knee up a little bit. I'm waiting for a follow-up doctor's appointment to see what's going on with it. So I figured sitting in a car for 10 hours round trip and then, walking a show floor for 2 days probably wasn't the best thing for it. Just stay off of it for a couple more days until I see what's happening with it. But coverage from that show looked packed. It looked super busy. I don't know how pricing was. Apparently, everyone that I've talked to, basically dealers didn't know what to do with Beckett cards, essentially, for most of the day on Saturday, because the news hadn't come out yet that they ended up retracting what they were going to do, or we really don't know what's going to go on yet. I still expect some sort of change to happen. And just wild times, as always, in the sports card world. I popped on because I'm Carlos live stream on Friday night for a little bit. And it did kind of feel like we were kind of going through a little bit of a quiet period there for a while. It was just like the normal nonsense. And then the Whatnot Breaker thing hit, the fake content thing hit, and now we're back in the grading nonsense. We'll be having gem rate data for the end of the month, probably a new PSA special on Monday. They didn't announce anything yet, but it's a weekend. So I would expect for them to come out firing on Monday. If I was a grading company right now that was not Beckett, I would be offering a targeted special that said, hey, send us your Beckett slabs. We'll cross them over for X amount of dollars and run some special. If you really wanted to kind of poke the bear right now, I would 100% be considering that if I was a marketing person. I would be sending emails, sending tweets. I would be talking to some people and trying to figure out what we could do to make that work to get that out there. So wild times as always. And in the actual world of sports, the baseball season started. We're only a couple days in. Final Four is happening. I don't know the results yet. Literally the first game is being played as I am recording this. So if you were at Chantilly or at some sort of show this weekend, the biggest thing that I would like to know, what was the vibes like and how were people handling Beckett stuff in that weird 24-hour period where all of a sudden a bunch of cards were mint pluses and just a few cards were going to be gem mint 10s. I heard some kind of wild stuff from a few different people, but I'm curious if you had any firsthand experience as a dealer or as a show attendee trying to buy or sell a Beckett slab Friday night through Saturday until this kind of retracted. So that's the wildest thing going on right now. I really don't have anything right now to add to the Beckett thing. I did the video yesterday, kind of like, reassessing things after a day. And then literally I recorded that at like 3:30 Eastern, edited it, uploaded it, hit publish at 4:00. And not even 5 minutes later, Beckett comes out with the official statement of, hey, we are going to put this on hold. And then I was already in front of the desk. Everything was all loaded up and ready to rock and roll. So I just fired out another video right after that and got that one up. So the content has been coming hot and heavy to start off the month of April. One quick tease for content coming up this week. I don't know if it'll be Monday or Tuesday. It'll probably depend on when we get gem rate data. But I picked up a monster of a card. I knocked a Grail off the list. If you want to take guesses, feel free to throw them down below. That video was recorded. I got the card earlier today, and that'll go up either probably Monday or Tuesday, unless something else crazy happens. But I knocked a big boy off the list. We got a major one. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to wait to post it on IG till after video goes live. But I cannot stop looking at this card on my desk, and it'll be there for a while. So fun little tease for some upcoming stuff. All right. Let's just go ahead and dive into some charts and graphs. Speaking of market movers, if you do want to check it out, link in the description down below. First month for $1 if you want access to charts and graphs on your own. They had a major data update this week. Shout out to Teapot and the team over there. They incorporated the entire history of PWCC data, and they're now also pulling data from the new Golden Weekly auctions that have been running. So you're getting those comps into the mix now on that platform. So let's go ahead and pop over. We are going to start off with baseball. Kind of some early returns. We've only had really a full day's worth of games because I'm recording Saturday night, so I don't know what's happened in the games tonight yet. The biggest winner, air quotes, from like day one was Adley Rutschman. He went 5 for 5 with a home run, had a monster day, and he did see a little bit of a spike up. Now, I had to go wide 60 days on this just to get price moves on these because they just don't sell super frequently because of the population count on them. This is his 2019 Bowman Chrome Refractor, first Bowman Auto Refractor, in a PSA 9 and a BGS 9.5. And you see the price increases in there. 35% on the PSA 9, 21% on the BGS 9.5. Now, the BGS 9.5s, there was quite a gap there, almost a month and a half between sales. The PSA 9, only about 2 weeks, maybe almost 3 weeks in between transactions on that one. But he had a hot start out the gate, so we'll see if maybe that heats up 2023, wax a little bit, give it a little bit of a bump. J-Rod really hasn't done anything crazy yet. Been pretty quiet overall for the big guys, other than Ohtani and Volpe. Anthony Volpe made the opening day roster. Kind of a surprise, but he's been playing pretty well. He did see a little bit of a spike up, but it's already come right back down. You know, we talk about this all the time. Sell on the way up, not on the way down. You know, sell as the event or right before the event happens. He might spike back up again. We'll see. He's batting ninth, but he did end up cracking the roster. And like I said, he did get a bump up. That dark blue line there is his PSA 10 first Bowman Auto Refractor. We saw a nice little bump up there from what was this sitting at 2K up to 2.8K, but it has kind of came back down again. And you can see the PSA 10 base non-refractor auto also saw a little bit of a bump up here and has also started to kind of pull back a little bit. And then just like last week, Ohtani continues to go up. He is probably the most in-demand, hottest player in baseball right now. Not shocking because the guy is a physical freak in regards to what he does on the mound and at the plate coming off the WBC. He's definitely the most hyped player to start the season. A ton of his stuff was going up last week over the last 7 to 14 days, and it has continued on this week. I mean, this isn't peak pandemic craziness where cards are going up 10x in a week, but we are seeing strong, healthy gains on most Ohtani stuff across the board over the back half of March. So we'll see how baseball plays out. We're going to need a little bit more time in, obviously. It's only been basically a day and a half's worth of games at this point. But we are seeing some price movements already from guys making rosters, having big opening days, and just Ohtani mania running wild on everything. Flip over and look at basketball real quick. I don't have a ton of stuff to hit on in the NBA world. We're kind of in that pause before the playoff storm. A lot of people are starting to rest that aren't making the playoffs. You know, the tank commanders are coming out for people tanking for Victor Wembanyama. People are getting their rest in, and then there's like some teams that are desperately fighting. So it's kind of a weird time in the NBA. LeBron is back surprisingly earlier than kind of everyone expected, and his PSA 10 Topps Chrome rookie saw a little bit of a bump up. I don't know if it was because of that or just normal everyday fluctuations in prices. Could be a little bit of column A, could be a little bit of column B. We'll see if that continues. I don't expect the Lakers to make a deep playoff run. I just don't. I'm sorry. They are too injury prone and just too many things going on with that team for me to fully buy in. Last but not least, Luka. We talked about him last week, and this is going to be one I'm going to continue to closely monitor. The Mavericks continue to be a mess. It's down another 10% over the last 7 days. That puts it down to 1.6K on his PSA 10 silver. I haven't seen it that low for a hot minute, and it's probably going to keep going. That's my theory anyways, that this thing's going to keep sliding down. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. It's going to be real close. And then even if they do, I shouldn't say make the playoffs, make the play in. I definitely don't think they get out of the play in. I really don't. They're just not playing well right now at all. And they are probably going to have kind of a weird off season. Either they're going to throw a bunch of money at Kyrie, which I'm not really sure is the greatest thing in the world, or they're going to let him walk. I don't know if you're going to be able to do a sign and trade for him. They'll have cap space, but not max cap space. And this year's free agency class kind of sucks. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see what they do to try to improve this team over the summer. And this is going to be a big year. You know, this is, I'm not the first person to say this. This is very reminiscent of LeBron's first stint through with the Cavs. He was really good. The team was kind of slapdashed around him. They never really took a long-term approach, and they just kind of kept throwing things at the wall to see if they could keep the team relevant, and that ended up costing them in the long run, and he bolted. Now, Luka's not a free agent, but we all know that that really doesn't matter in the NBA if the player's like, get me the hell out of here. He has 3 years left on his contract. I don't think we're at the nuclear option yet, but if they have a rough off season and they have another bad season next year, what are the odds he's not saying, hey, I would like to be traded? And then if Luka goes on the trade block, I don't know if Cuban would do it. Cuban might be the one owner that says, sorry, buddy, get your ass on the floor. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. I still love Luka to this day. I will still continue to look for deals on his stuff if his prices do pull back over the beginning of the playoffs and into the summer. Touch on football really quick. 2022 Prism Football is going to be our topic of discussion in the football world. Hobby boxes seem to have leveled out at around the $650 mark. They have kind of settled in right there. We will see if those hold there. I frankly think that is still too expensive. It is kind of funny to me that these now sell for the same price as Disney 100 boxes. What would you rather rip? A Disney 100 box or a Prism hobby box? They basically sell for the same amount of money. That's an interesting little quandary there. I actually think you have a better chance of making your money back in the Disney 100 box, as sad as that sounds. Let's look at some individual prices because we actually have a little bit of data now on these things. Don't pay attention so much to the red and everything dropping 50%. That is very normal at this stage in the game. These cards all just hit the market. They are still continuing to flood the market. We haven't even really got full retail releases yet. That stuff's going to hit the market, and these prices are going to pull back. What I like to pay attention to here is more so who is selling for the most, and then backtrack it from there. So no surprise, Brock Purdy is number one. Silver Prism sitting at $120. Once again, I don't care so much about the individual price at this point. Beckett, number 2, not surprising. And then we see a huge drop to Isaiah Pacheco at number 3. No offense to Isaiah. That seems way too expensive. I get that he's a running back on the Chiefs. I get that he had a really good Super Bowl and playoff run. I just don't know if he's an every down back. One, it's a running back, so they're very expendable outside of a few unicorns that come around every once in a while. If I pulled his stuff and it's selling for good money out of any product, I would be selling it as fast as I humanly possibly could. We have seen the situation play out time and time again. That card will not hold its value. After that, we get into the prospect quarterbacks. We have Sam Howell, the Zapper, Desmond Ridder. Then we have Garrett Wilson. I actually, of all of these, Wilson is probably the most intriguing one on this list. There could be a little bit of Aaron Rodgers baked into that price. We'll see, but I would imagine that would get a little bit of a spike if Rodgers ends up getting traded to the Jets. That's still very much up in the air. We have a 67th year Tom Brady Silver Prism. These are all raw, by the way. Then Kenneth Walker, Drake London, Hutchinson, Patrick Mahomes, 10th year, whatever it is. A T-Law, I don't know why that's up there. Jameson Williams is actually kind of an intriguing one from a position player standpoint. He's pretty low down on this list. He showed some flashes last year after missing a bunch of time, and a lot of people are kind of hypey on the Lions. That's a little bit of an interesting one for the price point. Jalen Hurts, Vet Silvers, Christian Watson, Malik Willis, and then we're down in like the $10 guys. Chris Olave only at $12 is a little intriguing. But the most interesting one to me on this list, just to kind of see, once again, not so much the individual price, but in the list of respect, I guess, on this, that Jameson Williams is that low down is at least intriguing to me. So that is all I have for you boys and girls today. We are keeping this one a little short and sweet. It's been content overload around here lately between all the mint news and everything else that's been going on. This week, like I said, preview of content We will have gem rate data probably Monday or Tuesday, sometime in the beginning of the week. I know he's at the Mint Collective, so he might be a little bit slower getting that stuff out the door, which is fine. We'll do that video. I have the Grail acquired video in a card. That one will be dropping sometime this week. It sounds like we might hear from Beckett again this week. We shall see. We'll see how that plays out. So we'll probably be talking about that again. Maybe another Beckett video. I don't know. We'll see what pops up. But as always, wild times in the world of sports cards. That is all I have for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.